Okay, so I'm here to reiterate about electronic harassment. This fungal growth that we all have on us. It's 100% of us, and this fungal growth that we share with Morgalens patients. And hopefully, what I'm going to do here is in one foul swoop, I'm going to change the game of Morgalens as well. And then the people that have Morgalens, pay close attention to this, please, because then from now on, you will not go into a doctor's office and sound crazy ever again, because I'm going to tell you what's really happening to you, right? Before my overt targeting symptoms took hold, there were things that I noticed. I noticed my skin was changing. It was changing color. I was kind of getting a yellowish tint to my skin. Um, Another thing is when I would go out to the garage and work, and I do a lot of work and get greasy, get dirty, whatever, and I'd come in and go to wash my hands and my arms and stuff. There were areas of my skin that just would not come clean. And it wasn't like that before. This just came out. It was almost like overnight. It was like there was a film on my skin that was getting stained. And it wasn't allowing any of this dirt to come out because this dirt was literally like staining the film. So it would stay like that until eventually it wore off. I also had peeling skin in areas where I never had peeling skin before. Stuff like that. Clues. At one point, when I was really clued in that there was something on my skin, was right when I was starting to get overt electronic harassment symptoms, and I was looking at my face in the mirror, and everybody has those little fine hairs on their body, like on your ears, like the sides of your ears, you've got those little tiny fine hairs. And I noticed that on one ear, they were free. But on the other ear, it was like something was gluing them down to my skin. And that was a dead giveaway that there was something foreign on my skin. But the tricky part about this shit, it's so invisible. It's so goddamn invisible that doctors don't even notice it. When it starts to crack and itch and dry and flake off, they just think you've got dry skin, right? So here's the deal. You've got this film that's building up, and on me it was thick, and I can show you photos where it was going to come out. It was coming out in shards off my skin, off my real skin, this coating over me, right? This stuff is all over your body, and things are getting in it, because when you take hot showers and stuff, it sort of loosens up. It kind of gets, like, turns into sort of a gel at points. Other times it does other things, but it allows things to get caught up in it. It also allows, since it is like a biofilm fungal monster, it allows things to grow inside it. So you get these fungal growths that are coming out. And what do? You go to the doctor and you go, "Oh, hey doc, I've got stuff coming out of my skin." And he takes his little stamp and he goes, "Crazy." But you're not crazy. You just don't realize what's going on, and he doesn't realize what's going on. Here's how we're going to change the game, and I'm going to change the game for you. I'm going to change the game for targeted individuals, and I'm going to change the game for Morgellons patients right now. You have a biofilm. You have a biofilm all over your body, and there are things growing and coming out of the biofilm on your body. Do you understand what I'm saying? You really don't have things coming out of your skin. You have things growing and coming out of this almost invisible biofilm that is on your body. Case closed. I have it. I've had it. Morgellons patients have it. And all targeted individuals have it. They just don't know it yet. They might get certain spots here and there while they're sleeping that they equate to like microwave weapons or something hurting them. And it can, at times, react with EMF or react with radio signals. That's the whole point of it, right? But it's not from some guy in a van pointing a weapon at your arm or your back. This fungus just does crazy stuff. But one of the main things it does is it forms a biofilm, and it tricks people into going to the doctors and telling them that they have things coming out of their skin when they really don't. They just have things growing and coming out of the biofilm that's on their bodies. So this is how you sound sane from here out. Okay? Right on. And I really hope you listen to me on this, because now you won't have any more delusional blah 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 diagnoses, because things do grow and come out of biofilms. They don't come out of your skin. So the doctors are right and the doctors are wrong. What they need to do is recognize the biofilm. And you can show them, and you can take it off and show them, and there are ways to do it. I'll post videos on that next. Alright? Let's move on a little bit though. Let's go to the saturated solution, the potassium iodide saturated solution, which I've said in earlier videos is the most important thing, that and boron, to killing this stuff off. If you use saturated solution of potassium iodide, and you do it, take it right, take the right dosage, you're going to notice things almost instantaneously. And it's a fight. But the crazy stuff that you'll notice, especially with targeted individuals, is that the areas that are affected most, your targeting areas, your eyes, your ears, your ear canals, your jaw joints, the joint at your jaw where your jaw meets your skull, those areas will almost within 2 minutes, almost instantaneously, will hurt like hell, like someone's punching you there, or they might flutter or twitch or do things. And that's because this fungus is so deep in our bodies that it immediately goes and attacks it, and you start feeling these pains and these weird sensations. It's almost like instantaneous bruising. At first, it was my eyes, my ears, and my jaw. It felt like somebody was punching me there the night before. And then my back, behind my shoulder blades, different areas of my back, my legs. And then it eventually started going after the actual skin areas where my shins were getting really bad. And that's where you get a lot of the shock sensations that come zapping up, through the bottoms of your legs, through your shins. And those will go away big time, I'm telling you. But I'll post pictures of when I was first infected, when I started treating them, and what they look like now. It's fucking amazing. It fucks their program up, and I'm telling you, I don't feel a thing. And I was hit hard, dude. I was hit HARD, hard. Hard. It wasn't like some light thing where I felt it once in a while. I was like a target. They were trying to send me down, one of those scripted roads. But anyway, I can't stress enough. You can't afford to not get the potassium iodide powder, and it's really easy to make. All a saturated solution is when a liquid can't hold any more of what you're putting in. So let's say you take 10 milliliters of water. Don't make too much. Only make a few days worth, a few days worth. Let's say you take 10 milliliters of water and you add the powder slowly add a little bit of powder. Keep stirring it until it won't dissolve anymore, until you see powder still in there after really stirring it up. Then that's a saturated solution of potassium iodide. Very easy to make. Then you put it into your dropper bottle, and then each drop is 50 milligrams. And you want to start off with 250 to 500 milligrams, and then slowly up it from there till you're on about a gram 3 times a day. You take it 3 times a day, and then what you want to do is, it's usually 6 to 12 weeks. Can probably go a little bit longer. Just see how it works for you, and then you're gonna take a maintenance dose after that to keep it away. And I'm telling you, I don't have one fucking targeting symptom. I'm here to help you, and I'm here to fuck their fucking program up for good. I want it fucked up. I want everybody on it. Now, I'm not a doctor. I didn't say that in my other videos. I thought maybe I should say that. I'm not a doctor. I'm just a guy that sat and really figured this out. I stayed away from the internet as far as keywords, and I did most of my research based on what I was dealing with and what I could see and what I was dealing with, rather than going to quote-unquote targeted individual sites or sites based on those kind of things, because I just noticed a lot of disinformation out there, and I wanted to gather my own information, and I'm really glad that I did it this way, because coming at it from a different perspective allowed me to figure something out, and it allowed me to free myself. I know, because what I was hearing from people is, oh, once you're in the program, you're in it for life, buddy. You get ready to hear tones and then blah, 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 hear voices and hear all this shit for the rest of your life. You're going to get shocked for the rest of your life. Well, guess what? I'm not. And you don't have to be either. It's bullshit. So let's fuck their program up together. What else is I going to talk about? The removal of the film. I got that. Pictures of skin. Yes, I'm going to put those up. Killing it off. Yep, the dosage. I just went through that. And fucking their program up. I just talked about that. What I wanted to talk about, one thing that I keep seeing on people, and people talk about targeted individuals' symptoms, like what to look for in symptoms. I'm telling you that the main symptoms are changes in color, behavioral changes, maybe even slight behavioral changes that the person may not even realize yet. Changes in the color of their skin. They could appear more jaunty, or they could appear more dirty, as though they have sun damage that they really don't have, because that's the film being stained on their skin. Another thing is, they always have marks on their upper cheekbone, like right between your cheekbone and where your sinus is next to your nose. Like, look at Harlan Gerard. Look at, just go through and look at photos of yourself from different periods, and you're going to notice these spots on your upper cheek, either one or both, and it's going to be the cheekbone, and it's going to go towards the sinus that's next to your nose. So those are marks that are always there. Another thing to look for is it always looks like someone's grabbing the TI's head and pulling their eyebrows back. Even if they're furrowing their eyebrows, it's as though their face is being pulled back, tightening up and being pulled back. Like their eyebrows are going up like Beaker. James Holmes is a good example of that when he was first targeted. If you look at his eyebrows, he's like yanked way up. Like way up. And he doesn't look anything like himself from when he did before. That actually happened to me too. And I was able to calm my facial muscles back down and regain control of them. Because there's almost like a feeling that you have, and a lot of people ignore this, but there's almost a feeling that you have during the initial hardcore beginning of your targeting. It's almost like you're going through a paralysis, and I really think that there's a bacteria involved with this that's like you're getting hit with, and I looked it up at the beginning because that's what it felt like. It was like botulism. Botox, where those people go and get their shit shot up with Botox. The top of my skull felt like that. My face felt like that. And when I would wake up, certain parts of my body would feel like that. So if you've got like Botox, and then you've got this fungus, there's a lot of pros if you start thinking about what they're trying to do with just slightly paralyzing a muscle. So research that a little bit, but that's just something to think about. It really felt like I had Botox in my facial and in my head and in my neck, in the tops of my arms and some other areas. So that was a pretty creepy thing. I also, and I forgot to mention this to people, but before my overt targeting started, I woke up in my bed one day after working out in the garage, and I came in here and fell asleep, woke up, and my left arm, when I woke up the next day, was completely dead. And I mean dead, like stroke. like I had a stroke and my arm was dead. Not asleep. At first I thought it was asleep. So I'm sitting there rubbing it, waiting for it to come back. But then something just didn't seem right after I was walking around for a while and nothing was coming back after an hour. It was dead for days. So I started like trying to teach myself how to retie my shoelaces and do all this stuff, and it eventually came back. So that also coincides with the numbness thing. It was really bad. It was really bad. Another thing is I thought for a short period before all this happened, I thought I had bed bugs, but I was the only one in the house getting bit. But I remember in the middle of the night laying there and feeling something like on my arms and like freaking out and slapping it off my arms and thinking there was something crawling on me. So I ended up, I'd have the bites, but no one else had the bites. So I ended up going through and vacuuming out the bed and hitting it with a hot iron and doing all this stuff to try to kill something off. But no one else in the house got it, just me. But then I was the one that really got hit with the symptoms too. So crazy, crazy stuff. But the point being is, I'm telling you, targets and Morgalens victims to use boron, use what I said in my other videos, and use the potassium iodide. It destroys their program. I am telling you, 100%. Still 100% free from this. And people say, yo, you're never getting out of it. You're never getting out of it. Well, I'm out of it. And other than, you know, a little bit of itchiness on my skin still, I am the fuck out of it. So, you know, if I do vanish one of these times, they are probably going to whack me for liberating you. Take care, and I've got, like, I swear to God, I've got 300-400 emails or some crap, and I'm going to try to get back to those as soon as possible, and I will, but just be patient. Thanks, guys.